Gonna let it fly. He's got Elliott. And he's got it! Ezekiel Elliott over the shoulder.
And welcome into Views from the Sideline, October 2nd. It is your weekly ritual of breaking down another Lions loss.
Why do you seem so happy about that?
I'm not. I'm just.
You seem ecstatic.
Here's the thing, Malik. Here's the thing. I'm not an optimist when it comes to the Detroit Lions because I've been a Detroit Lions fan since birth. So I understand. With being a fan of the Detroit Lions, you don't have optimism. I know what I'm coming into when I come in to talk Detroit Lions. It's a loss. Something crazy happened. The reason we lost the game, holding call, and it's just how it is. So I'm not happy. I knew what I was getting myself into. Oh, hey, Joe, what's going on? How's everything going today?
You know, it's actually not that bad.
Oh, that's
At
good.
least we weren't robbed like the Browns. I feel bad for those Cleveland
Never
fans.
feel bad for Cleveland.
That game was horrible.
Never.
That was
feel bad for
horrible.
Cleveland.
That should have been Baker's first win as a starter.
He got
The Lions just lost.
Well, there
They
was
just
that
lost.
holding call late in the game. That Joe, you watched it, right?
I listened to it
I heard-
for the
okay.
most part,
I
but
heard there was a
I
holding call
made sure
late.
to go back and watch it.
Do you think it was
No,
no?
the Lions defense couldn't make a stop to
All
save
right.
their lives.
All right, then we'll throw that out.
They let Ezekiel Elliott do exactly what he's meant to do for that team.
Isn't Matt Patricia a defensive-minded coach?
We're not going to talk about that either. But it's just like the offense again looked great, but the defense just can't make a stop when it matters. I don't know why, and it's mostly covering running backs. The Lions' defense is still one of the best passing defenses in the league, but it's one of the worst run defenses in the league.
They got serious talent in the secondary. That front seven, on the other hand.
Well, and the other
It's
thing
rough.
too is like the linebackers have played pretty good, but in that game yesterday, Gerard Davis got burned by Ezekiel Elliott, and that's been his problem throughout the whole season is that he's not good in coverage. I mean, that's a big problem because when you're gonna have to go up against these running backs that kind of leak out and get out in the open field, you got to tackle him, and he's struggled with that. So that's a big concern. I don't know.
Everything's a big concern with the Detroit Lions.
This could have been such a big win for them in the grand scheme of things.
I agree.
But
and we'll get back into some more Lions talk, Joe.
Yeah.
Before you get all
yeah.
sentimental on us, let's go into. I want to start with Michigan State. Another kind of, as I'll call it, a cakewalk game for the Spartans. 31-20 over Central. They were up big early on. Central made a big comeback in the fourth to kind of make the score close.
Yeah, score makes it look closer than it was.
But again, some starters had to filter back into the lineup later into the game because, like we talked about last week on the show, MSU couldn't finish the ball game right and give the starters a break and not have to kind of finish the game strong. What was your take? I'll start with you, Malik. MSU kind of doing what we expected, but yet again having those issues where they're not finishing games strong.
Once they got out to I think it was a 30 to 10 lead, I think it was. I thought they were going to stretch it out to maybe 45-10. I thought it was done right there, but I'm watching other games. I'm looking down at the ticker, and for some reason, Central Michigan field goal, Central Michigan touchdown. They keep climbing back into the game, and I don't know what it is about Michigan State. They don't seem like the type of team that they usually are. And it's around this time of the year where they start figuring things out. But it seems like they're just not figuring those things out. I don't know what it is. I really don't.
Yeah, because I feel like we keep saying the exact same thing every
Exactly.
single week.
They're going to figure it out.
We keep waiting.
And I feel like we say the exact same thing every week for each football team that we talk about.
And I still think Michigan State is still going to win like 9 games. But I don't know how. I just
They'll
think
just
they're
do
going
it.
to.
They'll just do it.
I still think it's just going to happen because they always do it.
For both Michigan and Michigan State, it's really dependent on these big games. They still haven't really
Michigan
had
State
that many.
shows up in big games.
Right. So that'll be where we can really see, and we can really test the teams to see where they're at. But for right now,
They
yeah,
have
for
Penn
whatever
State, Ohio State coming soon. It's
But
not looking
for whatever reason right now, like you said, yeah, they're struggling to get over the hump. And I don't know why. I can't figure it out. I've tried.
It's like they sleepwalk in the second half, and Michigan sleepwalks to start the game. It's so weird. I don't know what it is. Speaking of Michigan,
Exactly. Malik knows what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah, they were down 17-0 against Northwestern in
Just
Northwestern.
sleepwalking,
Exactly.
not doing anything.
But they did come back. They did win the game.
Yeah, road
That's
win is a
real-
road win.
Exactly.
In the Big Ten.
That's all that matters. And it's good to see them have some heart at the end and finish the game strong, get the win. Malik, break that game down for us.
I mean, from the beginning, Jim Harbaugh's play calling on offense, I don't understand what his philosophy is when he sees the personnel he has. They needed to start try to get the run game going because it's been working the past few weeks. You start off with just play actions and pass plays and little gadget sweeps to true freshman wide receivers. They don't work at all.
Nope.
And it seemed like Northwestern knew it was coming. And they played really good defense. Give credit to Northwestern. Their zone in the secondary was shutting down the receivers in the beginning of that game. But then you get onto the defensive side of the ball, and they're extremely talented and really probably going to be one of the best defenses in the country by the time the season is done, like last year. But they just let Northwestern just walk through them. And it's like they just weren't. It's not like they weren't. Yeah, they just weren't mentally. It seemed like they weren't mentally there.
They kind of were looking past Northwestern.
Yeah, they weren't getting off of blocks. The secondary, the DBs are still holding more than they need to, and it really was weird in this game because Lavert Hill and David Long are extremely athletic and really good cover corners that had really good years first time starting last year.
Yep.
Why are they holding when they're so?
I know
they're so athletic and technically good. And they've shown it.
It's laziness.
And they just let guys beat them all. It's
because they have the talent, they know it, they have the athleticism. It's just, to me, it just comes off as laziness.
It's like they walk into games like we're Michigan, we're gonna win.
Exactly.
That's it.
And
we're the Michigan Wolverines. We're gonna show up and win because that's what we do. But that's not what they've been doing for the past 10 years. That's not what they've been doing.
And I feel like I thought Harbaugh was supposed to take that type of mentality away from this team. And I don't know. I feel like Harbaugh would cut that out. Yeah. Joe, what you think?
At least they won the game, and in the Brady Hoke era, they wouldn't have won that
That's
type
true.
of game.
Very true.
Yeah, it's just another small test. And we said it last week, I believe, that Northwestern's not like a straight up cakewalk.
No.
It should have been an easier game. But at least they were able to make the comeback. They didn't just, go away from the game and disappear entirely. Like, they made the comeback. They made the effort to prove that they have talent, that they're not going to get beat by this team. And I don't know, like both teams, like we keep saying, just they're not staying consistent, it seems like. And that's the biggest concern. Like, these teams are so close to being good, but when you got to go up against the Ohio States and the Penn States, like Malik was saying, like it looks like you're gonna be in trouble in these scenarios. And yeah, I mean, Harbaugh hasn't done the greatest job, or at least because of he being held to such high expectations. I think that's the biggest problem.
And honestly, I didn't expect him to come in and win a national championship immediately.
It was unfair.
I was more realistic than most fans that were just like, he's gonna win and take over everything.
It was it was unfair expectations put on him as soon as he got the job.
And
he was that next guy. He was the next coming. So
honestly, the program is in a good place. People shouldn't be disappointed because they're gonna be consistently a 8-9 win team, hopefully 10-11. But
that's just, that comes with the nature of coaching at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
You expect excellence. Even though you haven't had it for such a long period of time, you've built that foundation, and people and fans and people that go to the school expect that type of excellence. Let's transition to the Lions, where it's our weekly check-in on Joe. How optimistic is he the Lions season is still alive. Joe, last week.
He's checking the numbers right now. He's getting his thoughts together.
Last week, I believe you said it was like a 60-40%. After you were riding that wave of they beat New England,
good feelings.
Yeah, you were happy. So I want to jump back on.
Get back on track.
Yeah, what's the thinking? What's the percentage that the Lions season isn't a waste right now, Joe?
Obviously, it's still alive, but again, it goes back to we're almost back to square one, where it's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the thing that surprised me was the week that Chicago had. That now,
Mitchell Trubisky.
I am
five touchdowns in the first half. That's ridiculous.
He's not going to do that again. But
I wouldn't be so sure. I could see
he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it again.
That's what I'm saying. I would not say that ever again.
I didn't say ever again. I just said he's not going to do it again. Maybe this season. So we'll say this season.
Okay, this season. I'll take that, I guess.
He's not going to do that again this season.
Well, I think he could have 5 touchdowns.
He's shown he can do it. He's shown he can do it against. Dude, if he goes against a weak defense, it's possible.
But before this, he had barely thrown over 200 yards in a game.
It was his rookie year last year.
I'm saying this season.
I'm just saying you're not giving him enough. It's never going to happen.
This season. I'm talking about this season right now.
All right.
So that's a little bit concerning because at first I thought, the Bears had been squeaking by with their victories, and then they had a convincing victory last week. So that's a bit concerning. And the Packers are kind of in a weird spot, and the Vikings are kind of in a weird spot. So if Chicago would have lost like I thought they were going to, which they didn't, I would have said that the Lions had still a solid chance. But with the Bears starting to gain an advantage here in the division, I'm starting to get a little bit more nervous. And I'm not sold that the Lions are going to be able to make a comeback or a turnaround, but there's still the thought that, if they win these divisional games, they're going to be even more important than normal because the division is somewhat struggling from what people's expectations were going into the season, whereas Chicago being the only one that's kind of held up those expectations for the most part. The Lions still have a chance, and now this week for sure is
make or break.
A must win. Because if they don't win against the Packers at home, it's going back to a 1% chance to make a turnaround.
You're giving it even a 1% chance?
Well, because I told you,
there's always
a chance.
There's always a chance.
But I'd put it back to 1%, and I would say this season is pretty much over. But if they can beat the Packers, maybe they can make a push.
As of right now, the NFC North standings are Chicago top the division 3-1, Green Bay follows 2-1-1, and then Minnesota 1-2-1, Lions 1-3. Like Joey said, big matchup next week. I also want to give myself a pat on the back. I tried to warn you guys last week. Zeke was going to go off against the Lions.
Oh, I didn't doubt that.
I said he had 150 plus rushing yards. Finished with 152.
Actually, I think I said they were going to be one-dimensional and the Lions could stop it. But Zeke Elliott is one of the top backs in the NFL. So he was going to find a way.
And he finished with a total yardage of, it was 240, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, plus the receiving yards.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew Zeke was going to have a big game, but unfortunately, it was the deciding factor. Joe, I want to go to you because you're just so emotionally invested in this team for some reason. I still don't understand it. Break it down for me. How do they let Dallas get in such a position to get that game-winning field goal? They know what's on the line. That defense just can't stop them. Is that plain and simple?
Yeah, I really think it is. Like I said previously, for some reason, this team just can't stop the running game. Or the running back in general, as we saw, is he's gotten 240 total yards. They can't even stop him in coverage. And when you know going into it, okay, Dallas only has Ezekiel Elliott for their offense.
They haven't looked good offensively. Dak Prescott has looked really rough out of the gate here.
Dak Prescott has never been since he started, like, he's never looked crazy good. He's been solid, but he's not that.
He looked really good in the beginning, but all those
Yeah.
weapons he had around him.
Yeah,
and
right.
That was a
offensive
different.
line.
That was
I guess
a
that's
different
true.
team. They had
That
the
was a
best
different-
offensive line in the NFL at that point.
But like at times they don't have a lot of weapons in the receivers, and so you're thinking, okay, if we just lock down on this run game, we should be fine and we can get out of this game.
And yeah,
And they didn't, and they
Still
couldn't.
can't.
They couldn't make a stop. They made the typical Matthew Stafford comeback. Golden Tate looked great in this game, which I felt like last year.
welcome back.
I felt like last year he
Yeah.
kind of struggled, and this year so far he's done pretty good.
The receiving core looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Especially Kenny Galladay. He's
and Kerryon Johnson is
big.
I was
starting
gonna
to
say,
look good.
They
Big
got to start
positive.
giving Kerryon Johnson more touches.
I think he's going to keep adding more carries. And we made the typical comeback like Stafford does, but the defense comes up short, and that's obviously a big problem. And it was a great throw by Dak, but something in the defense has to say, okay, this is our chance to win the game for the team, and they gotta step up. They gotta dig their feet in the ground and just play good defense. And for some reason, they can't do
Is it
it.
scheme? Do you think it has anything to do with the scheme they're running?
I don't think so, because I feel like overall, and obviously we've seen it in the passing defense, has become way better. Because typically the Lions used to play a 4-3, and now they've swapped over to a 3-4,
Yep.
which I think has helped them a lot. And I don't know if that's particularly the problem with stopping the run,
I think it plays a little bit of a part,
but
but I think you have to have the right personnel to play that certain way, and I'm not sure the Lions have it.
I'm not really sure. It's really kind of hard to judge. I'm not the greatest.
Their front four just aren't cutting it, and to play a 3-4, you need at least a decent front four.
I was about to say, did they get any pass rush in this game?
They got no pass rushing.
Right. That was
Still
their
no
biggest
pass
problem we talked about kind of going into the season, is that their defensive line has struggled. We know their secondary is going to be fine. The linebackers, like I said, have stepped up.
But-
Gerard Davis has struggled at times, but overall, the linebackers have played way better than anybody thought that they would going into the season. But it's that defensive front that just aren't getting it done, and they're not creating enough pressure. And then, you let a guy like Ezekiel Elliott get into the secondary, and even if we have these great guys down there, Ezekiel Elliott's one of the top 4 running backs in the league, and that's just a hard thing to put on that secondary.
Malik, do you have anything to add? Breaking down this game?
It's just another typical Lions loss.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It really is.
At this point, it's like either Stafford makes the comeback or they fall flat.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, was it 3 years ago? My cousin moved to Michigan, and he's originally from Illinois, so he's a St. Louis fan. And he's like, "Yeah, I know bad football. It's totally fine." I was like, "No, I don't think you understand what it's like being a Lions fan, because they give you so much hope, but then they somehow they lose it every time."
But why do we have hope as a fan? Like, this is
Because-
an open-ended question here.
We
as
are
a,
literally- listen.
as a fan base,
I have a good
why
answer.
why do we constantly have hope? Why do we buy tickets to see this team play?
Listen?
Detroit Lions football is the most coveted ticket in town. Why?
Do you realize that besides the Barry Sanders era, this is basically the golden age of Lions football?
That's
This is basically, we made the playoffs 3 or 4
Three.
times we made the playoffs
Three.
3 times in the past 10 years. There was an 11-5 team. There have been consistently
Multiple 9
there's
and
been
6
consistent good football in Detroit
9-7.
or 9
for the
7.
first time in who knows. So even though this team,
But I'm looking
And-
at the history.
And the way
of
it
the
is, though,
Detroit
is
Lions.
like most of these games that they go 9 and 7, most of these seasons, they could easily be 11-5 multiple
Exactly.
seasons.
They-
And that's the problem, is
either
that
Stafford makes a comeback or they fall flat.
when
But-
they lose, they don't get just blown out most of the time.
It's close losses.
It's like these close losses that are heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, that just rip you up. But then you come back next
Why?
week saying, "Oh, we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this."
That's my question. Why do Lions?
Yeah, the history isn't good.
Why do Lions fans have this irrational hope that next week it'll be different? It won't.
It's because
breaking news to everybody that's a Detroit Lions fan. It's not gonna be different.
If you can make it through the stretch from like 1999 to 2008 as a football fan, if you can get through that and you can witness some playoff teams and some pretty good teams,
that's awesome.
And to be fair, like
you're gonna get some hope.
Right now,
man.
what else did Detroit fans have to cheer for? The Red Wings are.
But even when the Red Wings were good, the Lions still sold out almost every single game.
Yeah, but that's just like
football's American sport.
Football is
Detroit
is Michigan's sport. That's the sport that for America, yes, too.
Yeah,
but
at this point,
there's different regions have different preferences for different sports. Why do people here in Michigan spend money to see this team get their heart ripped? Is it like some thrill for you to say, "Oh, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Oh, we're gonna win this game"? Then your heart's just ripped out.
Well, there's also the factor of getting together with your friends and tailgating and getting drunk and rowdy and
you can do that for a concert.
Also, because
you can't do there. You can't go to a concert every Sunday.
Going back to like Malik said, like
concert every Sunday.
This team has been so miserable for so long, and to finally get any like glimmer of hope, you get excited about
that. 11-5 season brought hope to everybody because they should have won that playoff game.
I was hopeful. I'll give you that was the first and only time I ever had any hope in the Detroit Lions. First and only time.
That might be the best Detroit Lions team in the past 30 years. Really?
Franchise history, maybe.
Besides the team that won
they did win a Super Bowl.
Team that won
in 57.
They won an NFL championship.
All right, how about let's talk about Super Bowl wins.
It's a Super Bowl.
No, NFL championship. Yeah,
Super Bowl is just a name.
What were you about to say, Chris?
Go ahead.
That was just my rant for the week. I don't get Joey's irrational optimism.
I understand.
I lost it. I don't have it anymore.
I know the Lions will probably never win anything.
Like
anything.
You know how we were talking about Joey? How don't say never about Mitch Trubisky throwing 5 touchdowns in the first half. I'm pretty sure I could say the Lions will never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime, and there's a solid chance that I'm right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that stat compared to like throwing 5 touchdowns is kind of like a big difference, Like a quarterback has one good game, whereas the Lions have to have a full season of good games.
But I'm saying in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years, Joe.
There's still fans that have it worse than us. I think the Bills fans have it so much worse.
Maybe this season. I disagree as a core group of fans.
At least the Bills have made it to the Super Bowl, though.
The Detroit Lions are the worst franchise in sports.
If you witnessed making it to 4 and losing 4, I think that's so much worse than just the history of losing.
I disagree with you. At least you had some.
And then you have fans.
Could you imagine if the Lions made the Super Bowl and lost still?
But you have fans in Buffalo. You still have fans of Buffalo that really think they're going to win a Super Bowl in their lifetime.
Yeah.
A lot of Bills fans seriously think they will win a Super Bowl.
If I was a betting man, I'd bet on the Bills over the Lions.
No.
No?
No, I don't think the Bills are going to win. The Lions have been more successful than the Bills in the past 15 years.
All right, let's move into the picks because we're getting sad on this.
We're getting worked up.
Yeah, man, this is an emotional episode.
Lions need to win against the Packers. The matchup looks okay because their passing defense is better. They don't have to worry about the run game as much. I'm gonna put an asterisk to that because who knows? But
their run game, it's nothing to be afraid of.
The Packers are a committee running back system. Yeah. Lions should be okay. There's a good chance in this game as well. But they'll probably tear my heart out.
One of their running backs wear number 88. They have to stop those running backs.
Yeah. But like I said, this is a must win. If they don't win this game, I'll come back and
you gonna jump on the Pistons bandwagon?
There might be a tear shed. No.
Pistons will win. Wait. Pistons will win 48 games, host a playoff series, and Joey will still be like, "There's no point. Who cares?"
That's because they're not going to make the second round. So yeah.
At least they.
But if the Lions were 5-7, oh boy, we're getting ready for the playoffs.
No, I don't think so.
I'm just messing. All right, let's get going into the picks. Updated standings from last week. Joey currently sits atop the standings at 19 correct picks. Malik sits in second, nipping at his heels with 16.
I knew I had a good week. I knew I was.
Yeah, Malik was one behind me in this week,
and I'm a couple paces behind there. I'm straggling around. I got that weighted vest on. jogging through.
Stop taking one for the team and
Exactly.
just make picks.
This is a week. Comebacks can happen.
We'll see.
Not only for the Lions.
I'm sitting at 11, so I'm 8 back of Joe. If I make that turnaround, if I climb up.
There's a lot of tough games this week, so.
All right, let's jump into
let
it.
her rip.
I'll go first. We got the Colts, who let me down again.
Yep.
2
There
weeks
was
in
a lot of
row,
crazy
man.
games though this week. A lot of overtime, a lot of fun, exciting football.
The Colts
actually.
receivers dropped 9 passes. I just want
That's
to let
why
you
I
know that.
lost that pick.
Just a bunch of no names.
Yeah, Eric Ebron got another touchdown.
Eric Ebron. He might be their best receiver. Oh. Ooh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Colts at New England. I'm taking the Pats. Joe?
Yeah. New England proved me wrong last week.
Isn't the AFC East just sad?
It is.
And Julian Edelman is back. He's officially back.
The
now.
Dolphins had hope. They had
remember,
so much hope.
Joey thought they were going to win.
Listen,
I thought they had a chance.
I had no doubt in my mind the Patriots would win that game.
They whooped them.
You can't have hope in the AFC East. Patriots.
Ryan Tannehill got 0 fantasy points.
0.
That's bad.
He had like 100 yards and an interception.
So
All
bad.
right. This is the matchup I've been waiting to see what Joey picks. Green Bay at Detroit. This is an easy pick for me.
You guys
Give
pick
me Green Bay.
I got the Lions.
Of course, Joey's
Detroit.
That's
going
let's
4
go,
weeks in a
Malik.
row.
Let's go,
4
Malik.
weeks in a row, Joey is picking
Listen.
the Detroit Lions.
Hey, Malik's with
Listen,
me again.
Just thinking it through logically, the Lions should win this game.
But I'm just
They should
saying,
win this game.
I think Joey's strategy here, he's winning. So this
Lions
is
should
clearly
be
working.
5-0.
Joey's strategy is
Ugh.
just pick the Lions every week and let the chips fall where they may.
That's right.
Don't know about that one, Joe.
You got Lions?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
4-1.
Broncos at the New York Jets. Gave me those Jets. We need to win bad. Sam Darnold looks rough. It's been a rough year so far.
Denver looked pretty good last night. I'm going with Denver.
Short week. You going with Denver?
Yeah, I'll go with Denver.
Ooh, I like this early. Tennessee at Buffalo.
Tennessee.
Was my good
Tennessee's
upset
rolling.
pick last week.
They converted, I think, 4 fourth downs in that overtime to win. They just have something going right now.
I really want to go Buffalo.
They have something going.
I really want to go Buffalo.
Josh Allen, nah. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Josh Allen isn't ready yet. He's not ready.
He's ready. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
This is
Oh.
why
Give
Yeah.
me the Buffalo Bills. You
Nobody's-
gotta take risks.
no one circles the wagons.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta
like-
risk it to get the biscuit.
You got to take the risk like I did last week where you take the Titans over the Eagles. Like these.
Chris, you are so far away from the biscuit right now. You
Gotta
can't
be a
Oh,
little more
You can't
strict.
sniff the biscuit.
gotta be quicker than that.
You got to be
can't smell it.
strategic. You can't have your upsets be like the Jets and the Bills.
Tennessee, I'm not sold on them yet.
I got Tennessee.
Atlanta at Pittsburgh. Give me Atlanta.
Oh, this one's tough. Both teams are kind of struggling.
I do not like Pittsburgh right now. There's
Pittsburgh
too
is
much,
a mess.
There's too much going on. They're like the Minnesota Timberwolves of the NFL.
Atlanta
Falcons.
can't stop anybody.
Atlanta can't stop anybody, but
But they put up
Pittsburgh
points.
is even worse when
That's
it comes
true.
to not stopping anybody.
What are you going, Joe?
This will be my defer. I'll go to Pittsburgh.
Joey, we're pretty opposite here, man. I'm trying to make some ground on you.
Taking
Yeah.
it back, I'm taking Pittsburgh.
You can't change. The
Oh!
pen has already spoken, but sure.
I just thought that Atlanta has so many injuries on their defense. Big Ben really might just pick them apart all
That's
day.
fine. I need to make up ground on Malik.
It'll be another
And
shootout.
Juju
Atlanta
Smith-Schuster is a star.
Atlanta's been putting points up every
Now,
week.
this
so.
is probably the game that I want to watch the most this weekend. Jacksonville at Kansas City.
Yeah,
I
there's
want to
some
hear
good
you guys
games.
first before I'm still don't know what I'm picking. So Joe, you go first.
I debated this early because I looked at picks earlier in the week and I was like, man, there are some tough games.
Patrick
this week.
Mahomes, me and Malik were talking about this before the show. He might already be the greatest
He's
of all
on.
time.
He's on an.
Greatest. Wait a minute.
Just joking.
I'm not gonna say that, but he's literally on an all-time roll right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's had a start like this.
You see
ever.
that switch hands lefty throw?
He's looked
for
I'm
the
not gonna
first down?
listen.
Come on.
The fact that he thought about doing that was cool, but I'm not gonna give him credit for this.
It's
Just
that
switching the ball
It's the
in.
floater. It's the floater.
There was a chance
Good
though
for
that
him.
they were gonna lose last night to Broncos.
I'm locking
Broncos
in.
had a chance.
Hold on.
That Broncos defense is tough.
Give me Jacksonville.
The Broncos defense showed that they can make it tough
I think
for the Kansas City
Chris
Kansas City's
Jens
offense.
yet again falling down.
I think Jalen Ramsey is gonna shut him down.
I'm taking Kansas City. Leonard Fournette, who knows what he's going
Yeah.
through.
Case Keenum didn't have enough to beat the Chiefs.
You're the swing vote.
Blake
Malik.
Bortles has been playing good so far
Yes.
this season. But
They
does
don't-
he
How much-
have does Blake Bortles have enough to
How
pull
much-
it out against the Chiefs?
How
Leonard
much
Fournette can't stay on the field.
The Jaguars' defense is quality.
How much faith do you have in Kansas City's defense?
A good amount.
You're going Chiefs, right?
I'll take Chiefs.
If I strike gold this week,
Tyreek
guys,
Hill versus Jalen Ramsey will be exciting.
guys,
Oh, yeah.
let's just say I get a good chunk of these right. I can be right back in this.
Or you can be so far behind.
Exactly. This is a make or break week for me. Just like the Detroit
Once
Lions.
Jalen Ramsey gets burnt once, he's going to stop talking.
Yeah.
Because, it's too fast.
Baltimore at Cleveland.
I got to keep going with Baltimore. They're one of my other teams.
What do you have, Malik?
That Baltimore defense is pretty good.
The only concern for Baltimore is they
Baker's at
don't
home.
have a running game.
Cleveland looked like they had a good defense, but Derek Carr.
They
threw
gave
it
up
all over the
45
place.
points to the Raiders.
Baker 0-2. Give me Baltimore.
Give me those Browns.
No, Chris, don't do that to yourself.
New York Giants
Don't do that.
at Carolina. I'll start it off. Give me the
No.
Carolina Panthers.
Give me those Browns.
Going with the Panthers.
What was the matchup? I couldn't even.
Panthers
Giants
and
at Carolina.
Giants.
Giants at Carolina. Give me Carolina.
You guys both picked Carolina?
Who we kidding, Joey?
All right, we're going with the G-men.
Are you really?
Yeah, I guess.
I appreciate it.
Christian McCaffrey versus
Joey and
Saquon Barkley. Oh
I got
boy.
a couple points to spare between me and Malik and I have been agreeing with a lot, so I'll just
Joey and I have every single pick deferring except for the Indiana and New England. Miami at Cincinnati.
whew.
That's a
Miami
tough one.
put up a dud last week. I don't know if I can
Do they
stick with
bounce
them
back?
again.
I think
Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati.
I think
this
New
year.
England just has their soul.
Yeah.
So
They've
that's
always
a different matchup.
They've always
Yeah.
had that.
I'm taking the Bengals.
But Cincinnati has looked pretty good. Andy
take it.
Dalton,
Tyler Boyd has looked really good. too.
yeah. And AJ Green has actually kind of
Yeah, I'll
stayed
take
healthy.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
Chris, you took Cincinnati?
Yep.
All right, I'll take Cincinnati. We'll all go with Cincinnati for this one.
I want to look up a stat of every single time we pick all the same winner if we're actually correct more so than
That's
we're
why I was
wrong.
scared that the Broncos were going to win last night because we all picked the Chiefs.
They almost did.
It was close.
Oakland Raiders at the LA Chargers. Chargers defenses look trash. They were supposed to be good.
John Gruden gets a second win.
You think?
Yeah.
No.
That's a bold call.
I'm taking the Chargers. I think Gruden's
This
done this year.
this might be my swing pick. Yeah,
I'm
swinging for the fences on this one. I think
Gruden is not having a good year this year. This team
Man, this one's
might only
tough.
win 5 or 6.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. Melvin Gordon had a good game last week.
Oh, Joey, we agree for the first time in about 9 games.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a lead on Malik. Starting to play strategically here.
Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco
Oh,
played decent last week.
this is an awful
This
game right
is
here.
yeah, this is what you need to be watching on your Sunday afternoon.
Give me the Cardinals.
I was gonna. Cardinals are still winless, right?
Probably.
I'm taking the Cardinals. I think they get their first win.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Jeez. Minnesota at Philadelphia. This is another really good game. I know Joey's gonna pick Philly because he just has all that hope for Detroit.
Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Philly. I'm telling you, Minnesota, something about them hasn't looked right. And, I mean, part of it's they've been in close games.
This
and
is
they
a
just can't-
tough one for me.
They just can't
But
get the win.
I also think Philly does not have the juice anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
what they
that-
had last year, they don't have it.
Yeah, I think they've lost a bit of that as well. I'd agree with that. But Alshon Jeffrey came back looking good, which I was doubtful of.
I'm going Vikings.
Good.
LA Rams at Seattle. This one, I think has upset alert to me on it.
The
I'm
Seahawks
gonna
barely beat Arizona. Give me
And
the
Earl
Rams.
Thomas is now hurt.
I'm trusting my gut. My gut says pick Seattle and take the points.
Hmm.
I'm taking Seattle.
All right, then I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, most definitely.
That could be
Yeah,
a big
okay.
loss for me, but
Yeah.
I have a gut feeling about that. Dallas at Houston.
That's a tough game.
I'll take Dallas.
Deshaun Watson got his first win last week.
I'm
Did
taking
they
Dallas.
get back on track?
I think I'm going to take the Texans.
Battle of the Big State.
Dak and Zeke.
That pressure in Dak Prescott's face might be a problem.
Yeah, they
Davian Clowney is
they have a
back.
defensive line.
That pressure in Dak's face might really be a
Yeah,
problem.
I'm
I'm-
changing my pick. I'm going Houston. I forgot about you.
I'm going to
Dave.
go with the Texans too.
All right, that means Dallas is going to win.
That means Dallas.
All right, and then a Monday night matchup, the Washington Redskins at the New Orleans Saints. We're all
Saints.
going Saints on this one.
I'm upsetting. I'm going with the Redskins.
Thank you, Joey. I need another pick on you. All right. So next week, guys, I will be number 1 in standings, according to how this
is that even
right
mathematically possible?
It is.
Are you sure? What are you at 9 and I'm at 19? So you need.
I'm at 11.
Oh, I thought you said 9.
No, 11. I can be up by 2 on you if I get all my
Wait,
right.
how are you at 11?
Do you want me to break this down on the air?
Well, like last week you had 5.
Last week I had 7.
What?
I'll show you after the show.
Because I listened to it. I listened back to it to verify. Oh, we'll have to do some. We'll do some numbers.
We'll crunch some numbers after the show. But yeah, let's transition. I wanted to talk a little bit Pistons training camp notes, but I think I'll hold that off to the end. I want to get into our Pacific Division preview, and if we have time, we'll talk on a few noteworthy subjects about Pistons training camp. They open the preseason this week. They're in Oklahoma City tomorrow night. That's Wednesday, October 3rd, for Dwayne Casey's coaching debut. That will not be televised. First televised game will be next Monday on Fox Sports Detroit. All right.
Yeah, the Lakers get to be on ESPN.
I was happy, though. I wanted to see LeBron in the Laker uniform. I just want to see what it looked like. I want to see how they played.
It looks so weird.
It looks right. I forgot. I still have that Laker jersey in the mail. Let's start off Golden State Warriors last season.
Can't be a Lions fan, but he's LeBron
right.
looked pretty good in that Lakers uniform.
Looked better than in Cleveland.
Jeez.
You liked him in Cleveland, Joe?
No, I just.
Oh my god.
I love the Lakers' new uniforms. Those old '80s uniforms, but
yeah,
redone. I love them.
I think they did a good job.
I really like them.
Warriors are 58-24 last year, second in the Western Conference in the regular season. Of course, back-to-back NBA champions, won 3 titles in the past 4 years. And the rich get richer this summer. They added Jacob Evans in the draft, which I thought was a steal out of Cincinnati. Didn't really show out well in the summer league, but he still got time. Added DeMarcus Cousins in free agency.
They got the biggest free agent acquisition
They also
of the summer.
added.
You're right, they did. They added the Swedish Eagle, Jonas Jerebko. Biggest accusation. The Swedish Eagle. You've never heard that before? That was his nickname in Detroit.
They also added Kendrick Nunn from Oakland University.
They also added Tyler.
Those Grizzlies.
Shout out to Tyler Eulis. Signed a 2-way or camp contract with the Warriors.
Good for Tyler Eulis.
I was
Probably
surprised.
won't
I was
play.
honestly surprised that he got cut by Phoenix since they have no point guards whatsoever. And they lost Nick Young, who just didn't sign anywhere and is currently a free agent. Zaza Pachulia is a Detroit Piston. JaVale McGee is a Los Angeles Laker. And Omri Caspi is a Memphis Grizzly. The typical question I would ask you here is trending up or down. We all know they're trending up.
I don't know.
Okay.
They might be stuck in.
If DeMarcus Cousins plays a game, they're trending up.
Is this the last year this core group, I'm not including DeMarcus Cousins, this group of 4, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant, is this the last year this group is together as a Golden State Warrior team? There were rumors that KD is angling towards joining up with LeBron in LA next summer. There's also rumors Klay might look for a payday next summer somewhere else to be his own star, build his own brand. I think Steph and Draymond are the 2 locks that will be here, but I think Klay and Kevin Durant are toss-ups.
I feel like it's Draymond that's more likely to leave. Maybe not more than Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant might leave.
I think Draymond's not a free agent next summer, though.
No. I think he's the year after.
Yeah.
But, man, can you imagine, though, if Kevin Durant went to the Lakers? He'd be the most hated NBA player of all time.
He would be trying to build the worst resume.
I don't think he wants to do that again. He's already gotten so much flack for joining the Warriors.
LeBron fans, it would be hilarious because Lakers fans and LeBron fans would have no choice but to cave in and start liking Kevin Durant. And that would then show that NBA fans have no credibility anymore.
That's right.
I hate KD. Oh, never mind.
And there's a lot of talk about Klay going to LA as well. I just don't know, though, because Klay has talked so much about Golden State, about how he loves it, he likes playing for the team.
It's all talk until the penny hits the contract.
I know.
It's always seemed to me like Klay would be the one to leave. But like he said, he's constantly been saying, I love Golden State. I want to be here forever. It's not like a dude is just like, yeah, I like being here. He's been saying it for a while. So I don't think this is the last year that they're
Now, do Klay and KD, would they have to take a pay cut for if they both re-signed?
Definitely, because Steph is super max and Draymond is a max contract.
Okay. So I think they
So-
might put if
Don't
they're
beat around the bush here, Joe.
No.
Are they together or are they not next year?
I think they might figure out. Oh, man, it depends on how it goes. I think they stay together, but
Okay.
I think it ultimately is going to hinge on how their season goes. Because if they win a title, they could break up just because they're like, okay, let's all
We've done this so many times.
let's do something else. And if they lose, it's like, well, maybe it's time to move on. Or they're hungry for, we need to solidify this as a dynasty.
Or they're hungry for a new opportunity.
Right, either or. So I think they might stay together and have maybe Durant go on a 1-year deal of a pay cut and then let Draymond walk the next season. I think that would be at least the best move for them as a franchise. Obviously, it's up to the players, but I think Draymond needing or he'll get max money wherever he goes, but I don't think the Warriors would
Give him that
if
money.
they had the choice,
He's the one guy they'd be like, you know what, we need to keep Kevin, we need to keep Clay, we need to keep Steph. Draymond's
Right.
that one expendable player.
Yeah.
What
So I'm going to say they stay together.
All right.
Kind of crazy, but
My season outlook for the Warriors: championship contender, likely NBA champion. Got them going 60-22 in the regular season, second in the Western Conference behind the Houston Rockets. Malik, what you got?
If they all stay healthy, I say 68-14.
You think they're going to try hard in the regular season?
dang.
They could.
They won 58 last year.
They could be so great in the first half of the season.
They could be so great anytime they want to, but I just don't
Yeah.
think they care. That's why I put 60.
I was 68-14.
Because they won 58 last
Listen,
year.
Yeah.
There were so many nagging injuries that even if they wanted to play last year, there were so many dudes that sat out for an extended period of time. That was minus 10 games. Plus 10 games if they're all healthy.
Okay.
58 last year, 68 this year.
Okay.
They lost to the Pistons.
Shout out them
That's-
Pistons, Detroit.
Yeah, 60-22, exactly what Chris said. I think they're going to coast. It's their title to lose. And I think 60-22 might actually be number 1 in the West this year,
I don't
potentially.
think so. Next up, the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are they really could be either a lottery team. They could be really bad or actually surprisingly good. Last year they were 42-40, 10th in the West. They added Marcin Gortat, Luke Richard Baumute, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I think all of us are really high on. Also Jerome Robinson. They lost DeAndre Jordan, Austin Rivers, and CJ Williams. Can they contend for a playoff spot in the West?
They got your MVP, Marcin Gortat, so the sky is the limit,
That is true.
right?
He's just better than Dwight Howard. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said. Which I was debunked on. I will admit. You guys got me.
Hey, right now you're winning because Dwight's hurt, so we don't know what's going to go on.
I told you Marcin was better. But yeah, can they contend for a playoff spot out West?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Realistically, no.
No,
I
there's no
think
way.
I think they'll be a better team than what we expect, but I still don't think they'll make the playoffs. I got them going 38-44.
I got them going 34-48.
I have 40-42. I think they're going to kind of do.
I mean, they could surprise.
I think they're going to
Who
do what
knows?
they did last year a little bit. Where they'll surprise some teams. They have a solid core, but it's not enough to get into the playoffs.
This will be the first time rookies actually have to make an impact in years because it's the new era of the Clippers. DeAndre's
And
gone.
they're another one of those teams similar to like the Knicks or the Nets. They're just trying to make it to next summer because they're in the running for some of those big name free agents. So they're trying to just get a roster that will, squeak by, and then in the summer they can really vamp up and see what they can do.
They should be a solid team.
They'll be good against anybody out east. It's just they play in the Western Conference. So, next up, the glamorous Los Angeles Lakers. Last year, they were a surprising 35-47, 11th in the West. They didn't really have that busy an offseason. They only added the second best player in NBA history, LeBron James,
Rajon Rondo,
Michael Beasley,
Lance Stevenson.
JaVale McGee.
That might
Come
be it.
on, Malik.
Who else?
Svi Mikalaku. I can't even pronounce it.
Makai Luke.
Mikhailuk. I don't know. I messed that one up. I'm sorry. I do
Sounded
so
like
well.
an African pronunciation.
I couldn't figure it out.
And my boy Mo Wagner. They added my boy.
They lost Brooke Lopez. Channing Frye went back to Cleveland.
They lost Brooke Lopez.
Who goes from LA to Cleveland? Seriously. Tyler Ennis, who I can't believe he was still in the NBA last season. Julius Randle went to New Orleans, and Isaiah Thomas is in Denver. What are some realistic projections for this Lakers team? Realistically thinking, because I know LeBron's here, they're going to contend for a championship. What are your realistic expectations for the Los Angeles Lakers? Not 2 years from now, not within the 4-year contract LeBron has signed, for this coming season, Joey.
Second round playoff team.
Do they win 50 plus?
No.
Malik.
I think they could make the Western Conference Finals. In the last 2 months of the season, I could see them getting on a roll and really, really starting to gel together with LeBron and Rondo leading those guys. I have them as 51-31.
Is there a chance?
Could make the Western Conference Finals.
Is there a chance a LeBron-led team misses the playoffs this year?
I don't think so.
There is, but it's
probably as much of a chance as the Lions.
It's so improbable.
It's like a small chance.
Yeah.
Just because, you think you get to that point where LeBron will will his team to get there.
A lot of stuff would have to go wrong.
It's easier for LeBron to will a team to win in the Eastern Conference than the West.
Right.
Especially since this is probably, if Minnesota didn't have so much going on with the Jimmy Butler situation, we would have never seen a stronger Western Conference.
Yeah.
You could go probably, if Memphis stayed healthy,
maybe 12 deep.
You can go 12 deep if the Minnesota situation didn't get out of line, because West was 11 deep last year essentially. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I got the Lakers going 54-28. They're the 3rd seed out west. I think they can contend for the Western Conference Finals as well. I don't doubt LeBron James anymore. I just don't. I mean, he proved me wrong last year. That team was terrible. I know you guys disagree with me on that.
Nobody can doubt LeBron.
I don't know how you
can.
Doubt him. If LeBron plays for your team, I'm probably automatically picking them for a conference finals appearance. Lakers 54-28. Joey, what you got?
I got them 47-35.
Wow.
Yep. And they're going to be
So you expect them to struggle at several points?
At some point,
big-time
I think they're going to hit some sort of blockade. The other thing being...
What do you think the blockade is going to be?
Lonzo Ball? LeVar Ball?
No.
Leandro Brawl?
I just don't expect them to be able to be held up by these young guys that are obviously still young.
See, I think people...
Or the depth of Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and Rondo.
Well, I think people are sleeping on actually how decent the Lakers supporting cast is.
No, they definitely have
depth. They won
depth.
35 games with Lonzo Ball injured for a good portion of the year.
Brandon Ingram was hurt a lot, too.
Brandon Ingram was injured. If you think about it, Lonzo, Beasley, JaVale, Lance Stevenson. I love Rajon Rondo.
Right.
I think that's a big pickup. Lonzo coming off the bench.
2 of the best minds in basketball together. LeBron and Rondo. It's really crazy.
My only concern is the center position with that team. And if you're going to have a position of need in the NBA, center is your least worry.
Right.
Nowadays.
They can play small ball.
Exactly. And I think they will. I think we're going to see a lot of lineups where LeBron is playing a small ball center.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just think, in the Western Conference, they're going to hit some sort of wall. And all the other teams in the Western Conference are also getting good or better. So I just don't know if they're going to be able to.
I will say this, though, too. The Lakers, yes, they're out west, but they probably play in the weakest division out west in the Pacific. Outside of Golden State playing them 4 times a year.
Yeah.
I can see the Lakers winning 4 games against the Clippers. I can also see them winning 4 games against Phoenix and Sacramento. That's the easiest division if you're going to play in out west, outside of playing Golden State 4 times. Because division championships don't matter in the NBA. It's cool to put a banner up, and trust me, if the Pistons win a division championship this year, you better believe I'm getting a T-shirt. Let's move on, though.
I just think the Lakers are going to be in that 3 to 8 slot.
We'll see. Yeah.
Somewhere there where all those other teams are.
I don't think higher than 3. Phoenix Suns, they were 21-61 last year, worst in the NBA. They added Igor Kokoskov as head coach.
Chris with those crispy pronunciations.
That was a better pronunciation than the last one. Svi is the only one that got me. I was tempted to not try it, but I was like, I have to go for it. DeAndre Ayton, number 1 overall pick. They added Mikal Bridges via trade in the draft. Elio Kobo, Trevor Ariza, Isaiah Cannon, Raquan Holmes, and Darrell Arthur. They lost Earl Watson as head coach, Jared Dudley, Alex Len, Alfred Payton, and Tyler Ulis. I'll go back to my classic question I ask you guys because this is it's the Phoenix Suns. Are they trending up? Or are they trending down?
Trending up.
They are.
I like this squad.
They are slightly trending up to me.
Okay.
I still think they're like 3 or 4 years away from even contending for like an 8th seed.
Yeah,
I think they make a little improvements. I think if they kept Alfred Payton, they could have possibly been like.
I was surprised they let him walk, especially since right now
I think they would have been closer.
I'm surprised that
their
they
de facto point guards are L.A. Akobo, very raw point guard
Isaiah
from France.
Cannon, who's just a shooter.
Isaiah Cannon, who is a shooting guard, and Devin Booker.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't address that.
They said they're still looking at players like a Patrick Beverly,
right,
or a Tyus Jones, but trades haven't come about yet. And you're about to open the regular season.
And they were trying to get into trade talks with Minnesota.
Yeah, to get Tyus Jones
and Miami, trying to get a point guard out of one of them. So I don't know. I like this. I like this squad though. I think they're
for this season. Do you like this team?
I mean, I like them, but obviously they're not going to get into the playoffs. Yeah. I'm not going to go that far. But I think
they're going to have a lot of highlights.
I think they're going to be a fun. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
DeAndre looked good last night. He had 24, 9, and 3.
Yeah. Right.
I wasn't a fan of him in summer league. He looked better last night. Still not too much of a fan of him. I think he'll be just a solid starting center in the NBA. Nothing more, personally. I have him trending up. I got him 23 and 59, still last in the Western Conference this coming season. But like you said, they'll be exciting. They got Booker, they got Ayton, they got Josh Jackson. They're too young. Rookie head coach. I know nothing about Igor. I know he was very successful overseas, but that doesn't always plan out. I.e., David Blatt. What do you guys think?
I got him at 25 and 57. Might be 2 years away from 2 years away.
The Bruno Caballo. I know. I like it.
And now that I think of it, if like you math out all of our divisions doing it, I'm probably totally off because I have a lot of weird ones. But like this, I think I have the Suns at 35 and 47. I feel like they could pull what the Lakers did last year.
Shut up!
I'm
just
35.
Thinking. Did anybody expect the Lakers to win 35 games last year?
What seed do you think they are in the West? What teams
know.
are they above?
Like,
what team could they win more? I could see them winning more.
Do the Suns have players like Julius Randle and Kyle Kuzma that can, like, offensively almost carry games?
Well, I'm
Devin
not even
Booker.
Just Devin Booker?
Well, I'm not.
TJ Warren.
I'm not going to.
DeAndre Ayton, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, I'm not even going to go.
Josh Jackson has shown signs.
He's shown signs.
I just don't know like what teams they can actually win more games from. They can win more than Sacramento. They could possibly win more than Dallas. I could see him possibly. I can't see him winning more than the Clippers. Memphis if they're injured again, but that's it.
I could see them.
Absolute ceiling to me is a 12 seed.
I could see them competing with the Clippers.
So their absolute ceiling to you is an 11 seed. I mean that could fit. Yeah. That would fit about right for your 35 wins.
Yeah.
Malik, what you said? 20. What do you? 20?
I was thinking 11 or 12.
25.
All right. Last team in the division.
Who's gonna have the worst record in the West?
Well,
you think even the teams that might be considered
I think it's this team we're about to talk about.
Coming up next,
the Sacramento Kings.
I think they're going to be better than the Suns.
They were 27 and 55 last year, 12th in the West. Surprisingly, I looked this up. They were 12th in the West. They added Marvin Bagley, Nemanja Bjelica, Yogi Ferrell, Deontay Davis, who recently got cut, Ben McLemore, Kosta Koufis, and Iman Shumpert. Those two picked up their player options. And they lost Garrett Temple, Vince Carter, sadly, Joe, and Nigel Hayes. Trending up or down? I got them trending up just because they added some good talent through the draft.
Listen, everything they added, I think they had one of the best drafts of any team in like the past 10 years.
Okay, let's chill.
Overall,
calm the phone here.
Overall,
come on.
De'Aaron Fox, not last year, the year before. No, I'm sorry.
I thought you said this
not
last
this
year.
draft.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Not
what I
this
was thinking.
draft.
I was like,
I
wait
was
a
about
minute.
No, not
to cue
this
up the
one.
booing
Like,
sound
wait,
effect.
Justin
Justin
Bagley?
Jackson, De'Aaron Fox, Frank Mason. Then you get Marvin Bagley this year. You still have Willie Cauley-Stein as your center. Skal Labissiere is better than I ever expected he would be. I think they could possibly be 2 years away from
Being 2
contending for
years
like
away.
an 8th seed.
Yeah, 2 years from 2
No,
years.
I think they're like 2 years away from contending for a 7th or 8th seed.
Stop it.
They're
Stop.
talented enough.
Stop.
I think-
Stop.
And they have their point guard.
I think
no.
they are talented, and I think
think
they're
so.
technically trending upward, but I think the Western Conference is so strong
That's
that they're
where-
going to struggle.
you're
And
right.
I think compared to the Suns, the Kings are their talent is much more raw. Like it's
No,
more
I disagree.
off
I
of
think the Suns are way more raw.
certain like I feel like none of the players really fit a certain mold, and they're all just kind of like
Because the Sacramento
all
Kings are just so
around
dysfunctional as a
somewhat
franchise.
players.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Justin Jackson is the 3-and-D guy. Marvin Bagley is the guy you throw it to him.
I'm interested to see it. Bagley
Post-game,
needs to
mid-range.
develop a 3-point shot. If he develops a 3-point shot, he can be special.
I think he has a okay enough 3-point shot right now.
I don't know,
to get
man.
by.
From what I saw in preseason, doesn't look that good. I'll
They
take
just
Andre.
played one game so
I'll
far.
take Andre Drummond over Marvin Bagley from the 3-point line this
Marvin
coming
Bagley
season.
has hit 3-point shots, and he shot like 35.
Andre has 2.
He shot
from behind the
35% from
half-court
3
line.
in college.
I'm taking
And
Mo
he's hit
Bamba.
3.
Stop.
You guys see that 3? It was nasty the other
can-
night.
It was a wide open.
Nasty.
It was a wide open 3.
Nasty.
It looked clean.
It was wide open.
He has a
Nobody
nice
around
jump
him.
shot.
Nobody
He has a
around
nice
him.
jump shot.
All right, season predictions.
That's how Chris talks about Andre Drummond. Just
My season outlook for them, I wrote down here terrible. That's what I wrote down as their outlook. I got them 26 and 56, 14th in the West. And I think I'm highballing it a little bit.
what was your record?
26 and 56.
Okay.
Joe, what you got?
I wrote down bottom of the barrel.
I love that we both did that.
32 and 50.
Wow. Joe, what you got?
I don't see how the Suns can make a more of an
Wait, how many
improvement than
wins,
the
Joey?
Kings.
How many wins?
20 and 62.
How can the Suns make more improvement than the Kings, who are bringing back everything they had last year? The Suns almost have a whole bunch of new things. Devin Booker, and how are the Suns?
Devin Booker and Devin Booker.
How are the Suns gonna make a huge improvement and the Kings can't with a new head coach?
I just feel like they're going to have so many new just like it doesn't seem like it's working out. Like I don't see it working out. Like Marvin Bagley, yeah, maybe he becomes something.
The Kings are actually. This is the first time they've been in a
Well,
solid
the Kings
place.
First of all, we
in
haven't
forever.
we haven't been on air since Luka Doncic looked amazing.
Wait a minute. Slow
He looked
down.
good.
He looked good.
He looked solid.
Future Rookie of the Year,
looked good.
future NBA All-Star, future NBA MVP, Luka Doncic. But that's our
With
show,
those
guys.
Kings and Suns.
Kings and Suns in the Western Conference Finals.
Everybody, we
in
got to watch out for the
2025.
Kings and Suns this season.
They're coming.
League Pass. Well, that's our show. Next week, we should recap my epic comeback in NFL picks. We preview the Central Division, give our Detroit Pistons preview, and kind of get geared up and ready to go for the NBA season. The week after that, we're going to do all of our award previews and kind of our big NBA preview. Anything else you guys want to add? We got about 30 seconds. Any last second topics, Joe? No, nothing?
No.
Silence.
Michigan is going to definitively beat Maryland this Saturday.
Definitively?
Yes.
Lock it
There-
in.
yeah.
Lock it in. That's the lock it in button. Malik's locked it in.
He hit the button.
Gotta
I'd be balling like my boy Mo. Bye.
See ya. Nothing, Malik. Silenced him.